Hey everybody, it's January 4th. Happy New Year. Today we're going to be going for a little walk and talking about motivation. And hopefully you'll be able to hear this. It's really windy today. Some trees have been knocked down on the pathway here, so if you see me doing any kind of step over moves like that, I'm just literally trying to not drop into a tree, or have hopefully not a tree fall on me while I'm out here walking. It was minus 15 degrees this morning when I went for my run, and boy, I felt it. It was all I could do to stay in the sunshine and stay warm, keep the blood flowing. But at the end of that run, boy, did I feel great. I mean, here's the thing about exercise is it's a love-hate relationship, especially with running. A lot of people have asked me, when will I ever feel good about running? You feel good after you've run, and never good beforehand. Sometimes I look forward to a good long run, and I get excited about it. But in most cases, yeah, it's just, it's something that I have to do. Here's another down tree here that we're negotiating with. So like I said, hopefully none of these things come down on me while I'm walking. There's another one up here too. So it's been a windy couple of days. But what I want to talk about today is, I'm seeing a lot of posts on the internet right now about self-motivation. I knew this was going to happen. First, let's talk a couple of statistics. Men, my age, middle-aged men, their number one resolution for New Year's is to lose weight and get in shape. That never changes. And the reality is that 91% of men who make that resolution quit before the end of the first week. So here we are, it's January 4th. So we're 4 days in, we're hitting the first weekend. Many of you might be sort of getting prepped for you're getting back to work next week and back into a regular routine and asking yourself, how am I going to fit diet and exercise into that? So I want to talk specifically about self-motivation without going into the specifics of the science, intrinsic motivation and all that stuff. I don't want to lose you on that. There's enough people on the internet talking about that who have degrees in that field. That's not going to be what I'm talking about today. What I'm going to be talking about today is understanding a couple of things. One, I used to be a motivational speaker, and I used to go out and talk about my experiences as an Ironman. I talk about the things that I learned about diet and exercise and sugar, and all the time what I would hear as feedback was, really great speaker, really motivating, shouldn't be talking about nutrition because he's not a nutritionist, shouldn't be talking about weight loss because he's not a doctor. Like, I always had those caveats that I wasn't qualified to talk about the science, but I was qualified to get people motivated. And what I really hate about most motivational speakers, myself included, and what I tried not to do, I hate going to see a motivational speaker and I get really pumped up in the moment, and then a day later, I got nothing to show for it. I'm no longer motivated to keep doing whatever it is that I was trying to do. So when I look at motivation, if you're thinking about this, if you are looking at motivation, like motivational videos you can find on the internet, I use those when I'm working out indoors, and let's say I've got half an hour to go or an hour to go or whatever the time frame might be. Maybe I'm just knocking out a couple hours on the bike, whatever it might be, or I'm doing a run. I'll throw one of those motivational videos on YouTube that's a motivational speech. Maybe it's showing people exercising, because that gets me motivated, in the mood to stop thinking about quitting, to stop thinking about maybe the pain I'm experiencing, or the boredom I might be experiencing, or how sore my butt is after sitting on a bike for so long. So I use those kind of motivational speeches and whatnot for in the moment stuff. I started a week ago, 10 days ago, a master self-motivation 30-day challenge, specifically for people who are getting stuck right now and asking themselves, how do I stay self-motivated? The reason why I started that 30-day challenge is because I know the science of self-motivation. I understand it, and I can apply it to everyday situations. And I know it's not easy, and I know it's not simple, and I know there's lots of different conversations that get in the way between you and your goals, conversations you have in your mind. So if you're looking for that motivation that's going to stick with you, not only for the first week, the first month, the first year, but hey, I'm 18 years into this thing. I'm still using the same motivation, the same motivators to get up and do what I do every day. So if you haven't checked out my 30-day self-motivation challenge, check it out. I'm 10 days into it right now. I posted, or I recorded my 10th video this morning. That will get posted up tomorrow. And for the next 30 days, I'm going to be giving you a different perspective on how to stay self-motivated. And I'm really trying not to talk about the science. I'm trying to talk about personal experiences, sharing personal stories, and giving personal examples of how this worked for me so that you can in turn go, hey, how might this help me? How can this idea, this new perspective, help me hold myself accountable to reaching my goals? That's what I'm hoping this is going to do for you. I know you're a busy dad. I know you got a lot on the go. You probably have kids at home. Obviously, you're a dad. My kids aren't even at home, and I still stress and worry about them. My daughter drove 4 hours north yesterday in a snowstorm, and it was all I could do to sit by my phone and wait for her to call and tell me that she got there okay. You never, as a parent, you never stop worrying, which is what being a parent's all about. But I know that every time my daughter goes off on an adventure and has to deal with adversity, she's putting deposits into her pain bank. That pain bank is something that we talk about as Ironman triathletes. Every time I go out and do a hard workout and I prove to myself I can do this, this is possible, that's another deposit in my pain bank. And then on race day, when I face adversity, I withdraw from that pain bank and I tell myself, hey, I've been through this before. This isn't any big deal. I'm going to get through this just fine. And off I go and off I do it. When it comes to my daughter, or my son for that matter, driving long distances, I can't be there with them to hold their hand. And I don't want to be there with them to hold their hand. Because if I'm there to hold their hand, then they're not getting the experience they need to develop the same confidence and competence that I developed at their age, going off and having these adventures. I just now have the perspective of probably what my parents had, which is, yeah, I'm worried a lot because, you know, you just want to get that phone call or that text saying, yep, I got here okay. So the big takeaway from this conversation today is this. Self-motivation. How do you stay self-motivated for the long term? You got to have 3 ingredients. 1, you got to have a community of people around you that are going to hold you accountable to you. I talk about this in my 30-day challenge. All my new triathlon friends that I met over my journey so far, in their own way, they hold me accountable. They don't say, hey, Dave, I'm checking in on you. They say, we'll see you next week at the water. And you better get your ass there. You better show up. It's an implied accountability. But when you've got that community of people, especially if you're by yourself and you're alone and maybe you don't have somebody to hold you accountable, what I've offered on my channel right now is use the comments to connect with us as a community. Connect with me as a community. Not many people are commenting. I don't know whether that's because, listen, I don't usually comment on YouTube either. I get it. It's not something that I was comfortable doing, but I do it now. If you're alone and you're looking for somebody to bounce ideas off of or have a conversation with, leave a comment for me. I'm very happy to engage and share my knowledge for free. I think that's the other part of this is I really feel resentment or resentful towards people who have success and want to create a course and I know I'm being hypocritical. I've had a course before. I've tried to share my knowledge in a course to make this a living, but YouTube offers the opportunity that maybe one day enough people will subscribe to my channel, watch my videos, enjoy what they're getting, get the value out of this, that all of a sudden maybe I'm getting revenue back from the advertising partnership, the monetization of YouTube. So I don't need to charge anybody for a course. I'm putting it all here on YouTube, and I hope you're going to get some extreme value from this when you need it. Because I know this isn't for everybody at all times. One day when you have a need, you'll find good information here. So it's all about the community. And then after you've basically said, okay, it's all about the people who I'm surrounding myself with who are going to help me get to my goals. I've shed the people who are maybe negative in my life, and I've added new people who are positive to my life. Now, what am I going to do? You need to have that daily affirmation, right? That immediate reward that you've done something good for yourself. I started journaling 18 years ago. I don't journal anymore. And I think the reason why is because after doing it for so long, for so many years in a row, my journal, I would go get it printed up every year. It was like, I don't know if you know what a phone book is. If you're my age, you know what a phone book is. It was a big, thick phone book. 365 days of journaling every year. I made these special journals up, and it captured all the information that I wanted to capture in my brain, so that I would see. I started training my brain the same way I trained my body for patterns, and I recorded every day 3 things that I was grateful for, with no repeats, meaning I couldn't repeat the same thing I saw yesterday or recorded yesterday. What that did, it trained my brain to look for new things to be grateful for, rather than to look around and go, oh, I feel bad because of this, or I'm going to complain about that. No, screw that. I'm grateful today. I'm great. Look at this. It's January 4th, 2025, and I'm going for a walk on a beautiful trail. Hey, I'm grateful that I live in a part of the world where I can do this in peace and just enjoy my surroundings. I'm grateful that my daughter's on an adventure of a lifetime right now, and she's got Ralph with her, and they're both safe. I'm grateful that the sun is shining today, and after I'm done this walk, I've already been out for a 10.5K run this morning. I've done all the chores I have to do around the house. I'm going for this walk right now, and my wife is going to join me for a longer hike later on after she's done what she's doing this morning. So I'm grateful that, I can work with the people around me, work with what I've got to work with to have really great quality of life. So gratitude, that's a huge thing. I train my brain to look for things to be grateful for, not look for things to be pissed off about. So that's an immediate reward. Whether I'm, checking off my 30-day challenge or my daily challenge over the course of a year, because I used to have 365 days. Whether I'm checking off, did I exercise today? Yes or no? That's a check. Did I record 3 things to be grateful for? That's a check. On and on and on. I gave myself lots of dopamine by rewarding myself with that immediate gratification of a simple check mark. So how hard is that? It's not hard at all. And then the last piece is just progress monitoring. Again, I had this, my diary or my journal recorded. I'm just looking at this big tree branch up here and listening to all the creaking trees and thinking, shit, I got to get out of here before one of these can come down. Progress monitoring. You got to have a journal. Set up a journal right now. 365 days. Get a calendar. 365 days. Get a Hilroy binder and start writing out 365 days. And this is what I'm going to do today, and give yourself a check mark for doing it. That is progress monitoring. So having a supportive community, immediate rewards, and progress monitoring, those 3 things are what are going to help you stay self-motivated when the excitement or inspiration of a motivational video is done. That's what I'm here to help you do. I'm here to help you overcome that obstacle of how do I get myself self-motivated every day to reach my goals. So I'm not going to make this any longer. Have yourself an awesome 2025 if I haven't said it already. If you are challenged at all in understanding how to do anything that I'm talking about, leave a comment. If you don't get it, odds are more people don't get it, but somebody's got to be brave enough to stand up and go, I got a question, and write it down, because I'm happy to be here. Part of my accountability is answering those questions and comments, and that's the first thing I do when I log into YouTube every day, is I check the community. Has anybody left a comment? And you know what? I don't know what's going to happen when I've got thousands of comments that I've got to respond to, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. So if you've set goals for 2025, and one of them might be diet and exercise, and you're getting about ready to quit, well, hey, drop me a comment, and let's talk about this and see if we can help you take those baby steps to stay self-motivated, so that 365 days from now, you got to forget about a year from now. You got to take care of what's happening today, and give yourself the grace to do what you need to do, make the mistakes you're going to make, and move forward, knowing you did at least one good thing for yourself today. You took one step further closer to your goals. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. And we're all following a recipe. So you're either following a recipe that's taking you where you want to go, or a recipe that's taking you somewhere else. And hopefully you're doing enough of the right things every day that are taking you to where you want to go. And the things that aren't taking you in the right direction, well, let's work on that. Let's work on that together. All right. Hope you enjoyed this little 15-minute interlude with me. Have a great day. Have a great 2025. And check out our 30-day challenge if you want to learn how to stay self-motivated. Bye for now.